I heard about this actually, but I've never read the
Mm.
story. An estimated 500,000 containers are sitting on cargo ships off the Southern California coast, and people are wondering how that's going to be handled. Have you heard about this? Like shipping containers just sitting there. Apparently, they don't have
Yeah,
enough
I
workers
have.
to offload them. Obviously, this is going to disrupt the supply chain. It's going to make Christmas horrible. You said we need to shop early. Explain explain why that
Yes,
is.
and it's so interesting that you bring this up, Carl, because I was just thinking about, we had about maybe 4 weeks ago, we had one person in the third largest port in China, one person test positive for corona, and they shut the whole thing down for 2 weeks.
Are you
So it gets
serious?
to the point where you say, yeah, and so these delays are on both sides. I mean, no offense to California, but we all know how the rules are in California. So, I mean, it's probably like, if anyone is, been exposed to anyone who's been exposed to corona, everyone has to quarantine for 10 days. And we can see the results. We have ships that are off our coastline that have never been so numerous because nobody is working to get these ships in. So I'm not laughing at corona, and I'm not at all minimizing what it is. But
Sure.
I'm certainly saying if we are going to be able to live with corona and go about life and get back to some level of normalcy, then what are we going to do? Because we have set ourselves up to live on the incoming imports of China. That's what we've done. We've all made this bargain. We said, hey, we want our cheap goods at Walmart. We'll be happy if they get shipped across the sea from China. And here we are. And if you cut off our supply chains, what is our country going to do? We're not manufacturers anymore. We're a service industry.
Yeah, this is
So this is a huge problem.
and it's going to be a huge problem for a long time. And we definitely don't have the leadership that seems to want to bring back manufacturing to the U.S. I mean, obviously, we're seeing the issues with cars as well, where we don't have what is it the little chip that we need in order to make sure
Exactly.
our cars are selling correctly or getting off the lots and all that kind of good stuff. All right,
Exactly.
so we should
So
buy.
shop now, Carl. Shop now, because you might literally see something that is for the kids that you really want, and it's a 2-month lead time, or maybe you can't get it at all. And better to pepper the quick kids with questions before they start expecting that same thing, because it's going to be a very. I mean, I read trade journals. I'd say 3 weeks ago now that said, "Gosh, if you don't order your Christmas fully by middle of October, you can forget it."
By when? By the middle of October?
Middle of October.
Wow. All right. So yeah, if you're out and about and you see something or you need to order something, you're right, because if there's an influx of people ordering, it's
Exactly.
probably not going to happen with this type of backlog going on. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
do you suspect that at the end of the day, the Democrats will ultimately not get this not achieve this budget reconciliation deal? What do you think will happen in the end?
Well, I
Any
wish
suspicions?
I had. I wish I had more hope, Carl, and the Republicans up there to really be a fortified bronze wall that nothing could bring down, like the Jeremiah 15. But honestly, I honestly don't see it happening. I feel like there's gonna. I don't know how the numbers could possibly work in the Democrats' favor with 50 senators that are Republicans in name, and having Joe Manchin, who's said from the beginning he is not going to vote for anything above $1.5 trillion. So if you take Joe Manchin as word and the Republicans were all non-negotiable, if they could just create a bloc in unity, then we would be fine. But we just don't have people that I trust enough to say, yeah, I can confidently say it's not going to go. It's not going to happen, because we have a block of Republicans that unfortunately will be on the liberal side in a lot of cases. And how they Republicans or fiscal conservatives after that in any way or any shape or any form, I don't understand.
If this falls apart, do you think Nancy Pelosi will be able to garner the votes to pass the bipartisan infrastructure plan? Do you think they'll resort to that? Do you think that's a possibility? I don't want them to do it because I'm just as concerned about what's in the bill as much as I am concerned about the amount of the bill, even the 1.2 trillion or whatever it is.
Exactly. See, here's what they do, Carl, and I think you're exactly right. And good for you for realizing this, right? Good for you for realizing, because this is what they do. It's like they're playing with us, like they're our parent, and we're like a little child that is just dumb, right? You
Right.
set a boundary that's outrageous, like $5 trillion, so that when you come back and say, "Well, I only want $2 trillion," it seems like you're being reasonable. When really, the American public never would think spending $2 trillion after we just authorized $8 trillion through a coronavirus, and the Federal Reserve is spending $120 billion a month, which is $1.3 trillion a year, in addition to our legislative stimulus that we got for corona. Nobody would say that you can spend another $2 trillion. But because they couch it in the sense of 1.5 or 1 trillion and another 3.5 or 4.5 to 5 trillion, because they made it seem so outrageous, now them pulling back seems like they're doing us a favor.
No. I hate it. I hate it. Anyway, guys, listen, Rebecca, I appreciate you joining us on the Larry Elder Show. Again, my guest, Rebecca Walser. Go out and get her book, Wealth Unbroken, Growing Wealth Uninterrupted by Market Crashes, Taxes, and Even Death. And per Rebecca, you better get your Christmas shopping on right now. Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, let's we got time for a call. Let's take Tammy in Sacramento. Tammy, welcome to the Larry Elder Show. You got the